From Nashville's WSM Radio, the original home of the Grand Ole Opry, this is a Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast.
Hey, it's Charlie Matos, and welcome to our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. And in this episode, we sit down with singer-songwriter Tiera Kennedy. Tiera had just played the Wednesday night Opry. She would wake up early and join us Thursday morning, March the 2nd of 2023 at our Gaylord Opryland studios. We would talk about new music. We would certainly talk about the Opry experience. She's also a radio host, too. We talk about the Tiera Show. All that and more coming up with our friend Tiera Kennedy.
All right, let's run it down one more time. Are everybody ready?
Yep.
Bill, Cody, Tiera Kennedy, take two.
Okay.
Because take one was just a few hours ago.
Oh, that's right.
We were at the Opry together. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm glad to be here.
Did you sleep in the hotel? Because you should have.
I know, right?
It would have been easier.
That would have been so smart. I got to think of that next time.
There you go. No,
You just asked her, who asked how many times she played the Opry?
Yeah, I'm curious. How many now?
Yeah, 7.
That's pretty cool.
7,
Yeah.
and I enjoyed every single time.
Listen. Last night, here's what we learned. It was the 10th appearance of Restless Road.
I know.
And they got coffee mugs.
I saw that.
Is that what happens on 10?
Yeah.
You know what happens on 1, apparently, according to Restless Road?
What?
Socks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't
And
This
your
is
own parking
accurate.
sign. And your own parking sign. too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I still have not found so we moved into a new house, and so we're still decorating. So I don't have it up on the walls yet, but it's going to happen.
Well,
I told my husband I'd put it in the garage in my parking spot.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, I like that. Smooth move.
That's pretty great.
Last night, Jason Carter debuted at the Grand Ole Opry after 30-plus years with Del McCurry playing fiddle in the band and playing the Opry hundreds of times.
Oh, geez.
And he got a chance to debut with his new album, Lowdown Hoedown. And he asked Dierks Bentley to come be a special guest on his segment because when Dierks debuted 20 years ago, Jason played fiddle for him.
Oh, that's awesome.
But Dierks, because Jason was already in the building, took Jason's parking sign from his special spot and brought it in. And said
Oh, my goodness.
He was using it as a tray table.
Oh, my God. That's amazing. That had to be so special, though.
He sure did.
Yeah, he did. Of course he did.
That had to be really special, though. Like, even though he's played on that stage, to get to be like center stage, and have it be your
absolutely.
moment.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Take us back to your first night. What you
Oh
remember about
gosh. Oh my gosh.
that? 'Cause I remember you coming to see us doing the morning show before you did it.
I know. And I remember it was just such a special day because all of my favorite people were there, my whole entire team, my family, and then we had a little after party afterwards. So it was really cool. Yeah.
Do you remember actually walking out there? Because every time we talk to somebody, they're like, it went by so fast. I don't
Yes.
remember a lot of it.
Yes. And everyone told me that I would feel like that. So I was really intentional about, making sure I was in the moment. And I just remember telling myself not to cry.
Yeah.
Because, it's an emotional night. But I was like, if I cry, then I'm going to sound really bad. So we're going to keep it in until the end.
People don't realize how difficult that is.
Yes. It's hard.
Stand up there and own it.
Yeah.
In such an emotional moment.
It is.
Well, the latest EP is Alabama Nights because that's home.
Yes.
Birmingham, right?
Yes.
And that came out back in the fall, September of last year. You're going to be at the Mercy Lounge in New York next Thursday.
Yeah.
Sold out.
Yeah.
Show off. Then in Philadelphia on the 10th, D.C. on the 11th for Tiera Kennedy. And again, just played the Opry a few hours ago.
Yes.
When you go to New York, do you take in anything special? Because there's something magical about that city.
Oh my gosh, it's so magical. My first time going was when I had a billboard. It was my very first billboard ever. I know.
That's a good way to start.
I know. So then after that, it's not. I don't know. You can't really top that, But I love New York. I love it to visit. I don't think I could ever live that life, but there is something special about.
So where was your billboard? Times Square?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my
It was for a song I have out called Miles with Breland. So I got to go and take a picture, and it was so cool.
We call him Bestie Breland because I
Bestie
see him
Breland.
all the time. I feel like he's everyone's best friend
He is.
in Nashville. And
yeah.
I actually told him, I said, I feel like you have become the Rosetta Stone of country because everyone comes to you from other genres. Like he's making those inroads.
Totally.
And I'm watching it happen, and it's so incredible to see.
Yeah, I mean, that's a cool thing about him is like he truly is like no genre boundaries, you know,
Right.
and he will work with anybody. And I mean, he's so talented and just a really kind person. So I love him a lot. He's great.
And crazy smart.
Mercury Lounge, a great venue, by the way, in New York.
I've never
too.
been.
It's really cool. Well, it's big enough that it's big, but it's still very intimate. So you kind
cool.
of and you're on the Danielle Bradbury tour
I
too.
am,
So
yeah.
that's what that's been like.
Yeah, we had our first week last week, and my goodness, it was so much fun. This is my first tour ever, so I'm really soaking it in. You know, I mean, that's something that I've wanted for a long time. So I really appreciate every single moment, and I'm really thankful to Danielle for having me out.
Well, and you're hitting some big cities too. I mean, New York, Philly, Washington. I mean, there are a lot of artists on their first tour hit places that like you can't pronounce the names of.
I know.
So it's really cool to go to like big places.
Well,
you
I
know?
gotta give props to Danielle. I mean, she's got a great fan base, and they've been so welcoming to me, and it's been cool because we're kind of like all around the same age, you know. So I've done like some throwback covers. I did a Beyonce song and a JoJo song, and that's like my demographic, you know. So it's been really cool.
Who are the country women as a kid growing up in Birmingham that made you think, hey, man, this country music thing is where it's for me. It's where it's at.
I mean, obviously, we all love Dolly and Shania. And I really, I grew up like listening to Carly Pierce and Kelsey like before they had record deals. Like I was a fan from the very beginning. And, you know, it was really cool for me to watch them and their career as they grew because, it was something that was attainable for me, you know, because they were at the beginning of their career and I was just trying to learn everything I could from them. And so now to like have them as friends and as, you know, champions and mentors is really cool and mind-blowing.
So how long had you been coming back and forth from Birmingham to Nashville? When did that journey start?
It had been a couple years. I started when I was in high school, and I was thinking after high school that I would move straight to Nashville, but my parents were like, no, we're going to go to school. So I went to school in Muscle Shoals for a year, and then after that, my parents heard enough of like, if you want to be in country music, you got to live in Nashville, and so that finally convinced them to move up here for me.
So where did you go to school in Muscle Shoals? The University of Fame Studios?
Yes, honestly. So I went to North Alabama, but I was really blessed to like be able to be at Fame a lot.
Were you really?
Yeah, I got to write. I mean, that's where I learned how to co-write. I worked with a producer up there named Noah Shell, and he was really welcoming to me to just like teach me the ropes of writing. And I got to record some music there too. It was my first time being in a studio. Not too shabby of a studio to start out in.
Wow.
You must feel it there like you feel it at the Opry House or the Ryman.
It is the exact same feeling. I try to tell people that like there's just something about, you know, places where artists legendary artists have recorded at Fame, and legendary artists have gotten to perform at the Opry, you know, and it's just when you step into that circle, when you step behind the mic at Fame Studios, you feel that history, and it's a really special feeling.
Yeah, if you've not followed Zach Williams, the great contemporary Christian rocker.
Yeah.
And country, I say that, but it kind of falls that way. He kind of just did a behind the scenes filming of recording down there. And
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to dig into that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool because it still looks the same as it did like 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, when the Rolling Stones were there, right?
Yeah.
Well, Rick Hall, the founder, spent an hour with us one morning on his book. Was he still there, or he had
No, his son had kind of taken over.
Okay, all right.
But I heard he was wild.
Oh man, stories for days. Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Taskmaster.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And prided himself in outworking any other human being on the planet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's why he was as successful as he was.
Yeah.
Well, Founded in You. Give us the
Yes.
backstory on the subject that gave you Founded in You.
Oh, well, my husband.
What's his name?
His name's Cameron. And we've been together oh geez, how long have we been together? Maybe like 8 years. It's been a long time. High school sweethearts. And I love him so much. We started out working together. He's a filmmaker, so he does a lot of my content, and that's kind of how we first started talking, and here we are. I'm writing love songs about him.
Hey, my high school sweetheart, I married 43 years ago and honeymooned 43 years ago last night at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, amazing. Oh, that's all, 43 years. Wow.
And Restless Road Without Knowing did Grow Old With You last night as their closing song of the show.
Oh, that's so special.
It was special. And so is this from Tiera Kennedy in studio. You heard Found It In You just before the break, and she is back. And we're talking geography and places we would like to live if we had the money to.
Ooh. Yes. Did anyone say Switzerland? Because I claimed that one.
Oh, nice.
I want to move in with Shania in her castle.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Well, you could find Tina Turner, and you could all be neighbors.
That's right. I forgot
Tina's been there for. She was there before Shania.
Oh, wow. So if money were no option, if I just said, hey, anywhere you guys want to go.
Ooh, London.
Yeah,
I love London.
Have you done
I also love her British accent.
Have you done C2C?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And it was so much fun. Man, those crowds are like amazing. They're very silent because they're listening, which is rare.
I've heard that.
Right.
I've heard that.
But it was one of my favorite shows I've ever played.
Does it throw you at first, or were you prepared for it?
Yeah, no. I was prepared because people told me, but like once you get out there and like no one's talking and you're like in an arena, I'm like, do they hate me?
Right.
Yeah, but thankfully they were great. They were just very attentive.
And it's next week, C2C. So, man, we're back on it.
Yeah,
you gotta get back over there.
Listen, I'm gonna sucker him into having me next year.
I'll come with you.
Okay, let's go.
We'll broadcast live.
You did a song at the Opry last night. Jesus, my mom, and my therapist know about you.
Yes. Love that.
I don't always write funny songs like that, but
Well, your setup was beautiful, by the way. The audience didn't see it coming. And when you got to the pause after mom and said therapist, it brought the place to life.
It was fun writing that song, and after we finished it, honestly, before we finished it, when we had the title, I was like, yes, this is going on my album for sure.
What did Cameron say when you played it for him?
He is hilarious because he barely knows the words to my songs, even after he's like listened to them a bunch of times, and like he doesn't always know what they're about either. So he hasn't really studied. I mean, he loves the song, but I don't. Yeah, he knows it's not about him.
Who are his favorites?
His favorite songs of mine.
Yeah, his or no artists.
Oh, his favorite artist. He loves Post Malone. That was actually a couple months ago. We got to see him at Bridgestone for the first time. And that was his first concert ever.
What?
I know.
Cameron's first concert?
I know.
Wow.
He's 27, and that was his first concert. I was like, babe, we got to get a handle on this.
Don't you know some people?
I know. We're gonna keep him up to date. We're gonna go to some more concerts for sure.
Who all have you worked with?
Have I worked with?
As far as touring or writing with? Or being mentored by?
Goodness. Well, one of my favorite people that I've gotten to work with, he actually is the person that kind of brought me to Nashville and introduced me to the first person in the industry, Mike McGuire from Shenandoah.
Oh, yeah.
We worked together a lot when I was in Muscle Shoals, and kind of learned the ropes of co-writing from him and some really cool people that live in the Shoals. So, yeah, he's like, I love that stuff. Like, I'm such a fan of, like, 90s country and, like, all of the legends, you know? So to get to work with them is really cool.
I met them when they were just getting started. They got a gig when I was in San Antonio at KKYX to play the KKYX River Festival, which was one of those festivals as a young artist. If you got a chance to play, it was a real launching pad for George Strait, Reba McEntire,
Oh, wow.
Tracy Byrd, on and on. And Shenandoah. So we have known each other, Mike McGuire and I,
He's
Marty,
awesome.
for 33 or 4 years.
Yeah.
something like
And they were just in studio a week ago with new music.
Oh,
so
really?
how cool is that?
Yeah.
Still making new music. Yeah.
They're so awesome. And we got to play the Opry together. I think it was the last time I played, so that was really special to get to reunite there too.
By the way, is it officially known as the Shoals? Is that how we refer to
That-
them?
that- yeah.
The Shoals.
The
Okay.
Shoals,
I don't.
yeah.
I want to be. If
That's
I
what
go,
the cool
I want to
kids
know.
say.
Okay. All right. All right.
Charlie Matos, talking like a local.
Oh man! Yeah. Well, I never was one of the cool kids, so now I can finally be one in the show.
She sings and she hosts too. Tell us about your work with Apple and the Tiera Show. Tiera Kennedy.
Yes. So I host a show on Apple Music Country called the Tiera Show. Very original. And it's so fun because I get to share my friends' music and just share music that I'm a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it's kind of like a therapy session sometimes because I just go on there and like vent about life sometimes. And yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. I love it.
And who do you love to talk to? Do you get to have people come in?
I do. Yeah, we have guests on, we have artists on, but recently we've been having songwriters on the show and kind of getting to dig into the behind the scenes of their life and how their brain works, which I think is so fun because we don't always get to hear from them, Right. And so we had Laura Veltz on the show recently, and next week I'm going to have Nicole Gallion, my publisher, on the show. So
There you go.
it's cool.
Well, you might want to hang around because Kelly is working on a couple hours sleep after Carrie Underwood last night. Jimmy
Same.
It was so good.
Mind blowing.
She
So
could
good.
fall out of that chair into the floor.
Yeah,
at
you're
any
on
moment.
deck.
I got you, sister.
Tiera Kennedy.
Way too much, they're the only ones I can.
Thanks for listening to the Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And please leave us a 5-star review. This podcast was produced through the facilities of WSM Radio in Nashville, Tennessee. The hosts of Coffee, Country, and Cody are Bill Cody, Charlie Matos, and Kelly Sutton. Producer Eric Markham. WSM General Manager and Director of Content and Programming, J. Patrick Tittle. Copyright 2023. Opry Entertainment Group Holdings, LLC.